Public transport. Ouais, bon, bref, à 30 minutes, donc je pars d'ici vers 10. En fait, à 17h15, I need to get up and get ready, vu que je sais qu'on va take time. Moi, j'attends. Wait, English or French?
This one's good. I guess
English or Spanish?
you do you. What do you think? Should we do it in English?
Yeah.
Camille, I've been secretly recording.
For 1 minute and 27 seconds.
Exactly. So we've talked about a lot of things. I was eating with Camille. We ate a really good burger. With some chips, not some fries. With ketchup, mayonnaise. We had
Snails,
snails. First time eating
eggs,
snails.
eggs and mayonnaise.
What was your favorite part of that dish?
Of everything?
Sorry, wait.
What?
You come and sit on the master chef.
Stop, my god. Privilege.
And I'll come into it. Invitation.
The peasant stool. Alors. Attends. Yeah, what was my favorite part? Probably the burger.
Burger was banging, langing,
Yeah.
danging.
It was, but it was a bit too it wasn't fresh enough. You might
Wasn't
like.
fresh enough.
Yes.
Okay. It was a bit rich, you'd say.
It was a bit sweet. It was a bit. Thank God there was the salad on the side. Because you put it inside the
Yeah.
burger.
Yeah.
Thank God. Because there was cheese, melted cheese, caramelized onions.
Mhm.
If the onions were fresh, maybe I would have appreciated it more. No shade. But yeah. Loved my lunch.
Okay. I think at the moment. No, I really love the les entrées.
Yes, I agree.
Because we were fucking famished. Famished.
Very hungry.
I needed a scram so bad.
Scran.
A scram. Scran?
You needed scran.
Scran, yeah, a scran. We talked about how, well, I did that a lot and you did that a lot. We like to talk about the walk, but we don't often walk the walk.
Yes,
And
maybe give context on that sentence. Because they
okay,
might not understand what you're talking about.
basically, I was said to Camille, I think it's an absolute truth that every time I speak about meditation a lot, every time I speak about a certain subject for a long time, and I'm very passionate about it, it's often that I'm not applying it to my life, that I'm not convincing others, I'm convincing myself.
Trying to convince yourself that what you're doing is right for yourself. And so, to kind of like, I guess, how would you say it in English? How would you say in English? Pour le mettre en vigueur.
Um,
Like,
to walk those to walk the
to walk
walk,
the walk. No, to be able to like
put it into practice.
put it into practice, exactly. If you want to put it into practice, it means that you need to be confident talking about it, like know everything about the subject. So like I feel like what we do often is kind of to exercise ourselves to kind of master the subject. You talk about it a lot and you kind of talk about it all the time. And so because you truly don't feel rooted in it, because you're kind of exploring it exploring the subject on the surface because it's like new to you. You like discovering a certain subject. I feel like what I'm saying is very blurry. But for example, let's take a concrete example.
Forget that there's an audience when you're speaking into that
No,
microphone.
yeah, I guess.
But still, have them in mind.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, what were we
Right?
talking about?
I once heard this really good quote I heard. Right, 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 like nobody's gonna read it.
Exactly.
Film like
Yeah,
nobody's gonna see it.
yeah.
Talk
Because
into
I feel
microphone.
like we're talking as if we think that they know exactly what we're talking about. I think you don't know exactly what we're talking about because you weren't there talking with us. So to
Take the L.
give
You weren't invited.
you
Boom.
weren't there. So what we were talking about, can I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
I talk about your life?
yeah, Mark.
So we were
Là,
talking
tu veux, ben,
about
suis
I don't know, I'm still asking for
suis
permission.
un peu private sur ce qui se passe dans ma vie.
Um
Vous voyez, chez moi, c'est la première fois.
um anyways, so we were talking about the spirituality, like getting to know yourself, and since it's kind of I guess a significant phase in your life, you feel like you want to talk about it a lot because it's something that's changed your life a lot, and so you want to, kind of discover it more. And while talking about it, you kind of give this like confident look of, oh yeah, I learnt something new and you can learn from it too, when you have no idea what you're saying. And it's not all the time.
That's why I like Camille. She destroys my ego, and I'm so happy she does that, honestly.
It depends. Sometimes you are aware of it
Mm,
and you say it.
yeah,
But since you say it, it's because you're not confident enough in your like
yeah, in my walk.
words. Yeah, in your walk. And so when we say, um, you can't wait, what was it? What was the sentence?
You often talk the walk, but you don't walk the walk.
Yeah, exactly. And in order to walk the walk, you can't be consistently talking the talk. And I feel like you're half and
Yeah.
half because I feel like there's sometimes things like I'm sure there's a lot of things we don't talk about that you experience by yourself. And since you think that that experience is legitimate, you don't really talk about it because you're like, okay, yeah, keeping this to myself, or like I feel good in this, so like you're not gonna talk about how you brush your teeth every day. You're like, I brushed my teeth this morning, guys.
Or
Brush your teeth.
when we all know how to anticipate when the next metro is gonna come.
Exactly. We're not like, oh, I waited for the metro.
But I knew when it was gonna come.
What are you saying?
Like, have you always, haven't you noticed that every metro always comes en moyenne in every 2 minutes?
Yeah.
And the next and your metro always comes. It's gonna be mad before the other metros come in. So when your metro, or you're in one situation where the metro comes,
Mhm.
you jump in that metro and you see the other metro and the other line
Mhm.
come in,
Yeah.
or you're in the other situation where you see
The other
the other
metro.
metro every time, nearly every time.
And so what are you linking that to?
Just something that we don't really talk about.
Oh yeah, it's not like yeah, I understand. I understand. So what so the point is if it's natural to you and if it's like something stopped buzzing. I feel like it's really quiet now. Something was buzzing. Sorry.
Something's
Um
buzzing now. Là, ça s'est
way
arrêté.
less, way less. Okay, anyways. So
Oh,
if it's not natural to you, you're gonna like talk about it a lot, spread it everywhere, and be like, look at this new thing I discovered, so cool. And that's something I noticed with you. That's what we were saying. I noticed that with him, and I definitely also have that. Because I used to talk a lot about, I still do talk a lot about mental conditions, typically ADHD. If my friends are watching, hello, you know what I'm talking about. And you obviously talk a lot about
oh my god,
spirituality.
if others in the chat, please send a
If
message.
and not only like if if Lola's watching, if a lot of my other friends are watching, y'all all know that I love talking about ADHD, neurotypical people, neurodivergent people. Anyways, you guys know that I love talking about that because it's something that intrigues me because I found out that I had ADHD.
Oh my god. What?
And and it's not um I'm just putting it there as an example. And you also have that with spirituality, whether it's meditation, Buddhism. figuring your life out, whatever. You like talking about that a lot because your life is kind of centered around that at the moment.
Oui, en effet.
Because it's a new thing.
Ça fait 3 ans.
Yeah, but it's still something you don't master because it's such a vast
I'll never master it.
Yeah, you'll never master it.
Mastering means I control it.
Yeah, exactly. And the only time you'll stop talking about it is when you accept that you don't master it. So
Yeah.
you
All right, so that's the end of the episode. See ya.
no, but it's j'allais dire c'est un peu ça. It's kind of it's totally that.
Mais
And
tu
so
peux parler, you can still speak about it with more. I think when you're actually walking the walk, your presence is enough
yeah,
to show. But
yeah.
then your presence then accompagne le propos very well.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Doesn't mean that when you're actually walking the walk, you can't talk the walk.
Mhm.
Because what do these morphos do? Like they write loads of books, and I think Eckhart Tolle is still Eckhart Tolle,
Who?
celui qui a écrit The Power of Now.
Oh yeah,
C'est genre, il est très connu. C'est un très gros
never
spiritual
read it.
teacher.
Okay. And I feel like all of those yeah, there's a difference between like all of those spiritual teachers and all of those people who are like who put like their knowledge on a platform, whether it's a book or a video or podcast. No, but like there's some people who are like called in to talk for like newspaper articles for a lot of things. Those people have a base, but I'm sure, I hope for them that in their day-to-day life, that is not what they talk about all the time.
Oh, really?
Because if it's their way of living, they should know that it's their own way of living, and they can't tell other people how to live. Because as
They
long as they're
don't.
comfortable with themselves,
Oui, mais ils disent pas. It's like we said, it's not about what, it's about how. They don't. Eckhart Tolle doesn't say it's the truth. He always
no,
gives
yeah,
us une interprétation.
yeah,
C'est
yeah,
c'est
yeah.
c'est toujours.
That's what I mean. C'est que he's not calling it the truth.
Well, he says it's true for him.
Yeah, it's true for him, but he's
Ah
not
oui, mais
telling
toi
you
tu
what
parles
to
de genre
think.
des spiritual people qui genre en mode yeah, genre they forget
Yeah,
totally that okay, wait, okay.
like they
Spiritual
forget that.
egos.
Yes, exactly. Um, because yeah,
Spiritual ego war. Wait. Spiritual ego, aka people that use spirituality to feed their ego, therefore defying the point of any experience, quote unquote, called spiritual.
facts.
Because spiritual is a dissolution of the habitual self.
Yes. Me myself, who is I don't consider myself a very spiritual person. I'm not spiritual. I don't align with that.
Qui dit? Who would say?
I
It's
don't.
always spiritual ego if you say, I'm spiritual. You'd say, yeah,
That's true.
in my experience day to day, I have spiritual experiences.
What
That's
is
different.
spirituality?
Spirituality is out of body. It's, no, for me, it's very dumb. For me, it's just a label to say that you're kind of aware of awareness and you're mindful and you understand that we as humans, we live in an experience, the experience of a human, and that when we die, it's not the end of the world. That we have something that's called the soul, things like that. So that depends of any religious traditions,
Beliefs.
beliefs or traditions, and
Because would you agree to say that there's spirituality everywhere, even outside religion?
yeah, totally,
Okay.
totally,
Okay, cool.
totally.
Because I would say,
When you, yeah, sorry.
checking, whatever like spirituality means, I feel like everybody goes through. Who's calling you? Mummy!
Yeah, mum. Yeah, all right, no problem. All right. Ah ouais, ok. Ok, j'arrive. Camille, est-ce que je peux te faire confiance avec le podcast pendant 5 minutes? And you speak whatever you want to speak.
Okay.
And I'll be delighted to then watch the video and in the
Alright.
mirrorverse.
Alright. I am in charge
I need
now.
to go and help my mum at
Oh!
Carrefour.
I got a call. I'm getting a call as well. Hello? No idea. Hello. Okay. Let me tell you guys what just happened. We were talking about me having ADHD, right? Anyways, this isn't funny. I basically, oh my god, I sound really annoying. See, when Alfie's not there, I get self-conscious. Anyways, so I was supposed to pick up kids from babysitting at 4:15. It is 4:30. I am at Alfie's house because I had in mind that I had to drop them off at 6 p.m. at their dance practice. And I thought, yeah, I don't usually stay very long. And then I looked at my notes and I looked at the wrong day and it said 5:30, so I thought I was good. But no, I just completely forgot to pick kids up from school. And I don't find this funny. This is very irresponsible of me and I apologize. I just asked Alfie to cut out the call because I'm very embarrassed, right? Um, so now he's forcing me to stay here. Finish the podcast. No, I'm very happy to be here. But yeah, I'm very embarrassed right now because yesterday, I'm gonna tell you this yesterday, I was supposed to pick them up, but I almost fainted on them, like in the metro, and I didn't feel well for the rest of the afternoon. And so I couldn't go pick them up, so I had cancelled, but like last second. And so now I feel very guilty because, well, yesterday wasn't my fault, I just didn't feel well, and tricky. Today I forgot. When I told myself, okay, I will be on time, I completely forgot. That is ridiculous. And I owe it, like, very disrespectful on my half. So I'm very upset. But I see them on Friday. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do to get them to forgive me. I feel very upset. They're very chill. Thank God they're chill. But yeah, I'm telling you guys about my life. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do on Friday. Stay tuned. Send me a message. Anyways, all that to say, what are we talking about? The spiritual ego. What were we saying? Mm, ASMR. We were talking about how walking the walk, you can only walk the walk if you don't talk the walk. If you talk the walk, you're not being authentic. Or like you're not being. Wait, let me find a sentence actually. I have a written down sentence, which is, wait, what was it? Yeah. Okay. You need, okay, you need to take what you've learned and embody it. That's kind of what we're saying. If you keep talking the walk, you keep talking about the progress that you need to make or that you're making, you're never actually making the progress because you're not actually putting it in action. I'm not saying that it's always the case because there's people who actually teach how to embody it. But see, there's a difference between people who say they're teachers, like, I don't know, life teachers or whatever. Life teachers that are like, yeah, realize this, wake up, wake up. But they don't tell you how to use these discoveries. They just tell you, discover, and they don't really redirect you. But then it's up to you to not only stay stuck on what you've discovered and then actually take action on your life or like try and interpret it in a certain way. Let me make it clearer. What we talked about with Alfie, Alfredo, Alfie. I was basically telling him that I feel like sometimes he, I'm not being a hypocrite. I'm gonna talk about it afterwards with him. I have told them this. I feel like when he talks it to because he's excited because he learned something new and he's like, yeah, so many people can benefit from this because I just learned an extra step and they haven't, and so they need me to discover their life. And that's not how it works. That's his spiritual ego getting in the way. Um, which is what he likes to call it. I use those terms because you're probably familiar with those terms because he uses them if you watch his videos. I'm sorry, I burped. I don't use those terms. But yeah, I guess ego. God, I gurgled. Sorry. Yeah, he usually talks a lot, and he usually strives from that talking, and it fills his ego because he's like proud of his achievement, and he wants to make people like to show people that he's proud of it, so that people can also look up to him. And that's just a confidence problem. We talked about that. I'm just alone, so I say it a bit easier. But we've talked about it with him, and we're going to keep talking about it after. And I think that we all have that. We like to brag about stuff we don't really have control on because we have like a little glimpse of an idea. For example, maybe what I'm saying for you is very vague. I hope it's not. But let's use a concrete example. So, about self confidence, believing in yourself. When people understand the term being confident and believing in yourself, which isn't just finding yourself good looking or finding yourself intelligent, it's actually, for me, confidence is like being like loving. Confidence for me is just being okay with how you're presented, even with your flaws. Being confident doesn't mean believing you have no flaws. On soit bien d'accord. Who is here? Oh my god, they can probably all hear me talking. So yeah, that's my opinion. Is he back? He's coming back. Um, and so what was I saying? I completely forgot. I need to be reminded again. Pause break. Do you need help? Are you sure? Okay. Okay, I was talking about. Okay. Okay. I need to remember what we were talking about. Okay, I need to finish my point, and then I can bring you into the conversation.
Okay.
But I need to remember it because you distracted me. Hold on. So yeah, the confidence that yeah, talking the walk is fake confidence because you want to like believe what you're saying. So that's why you're talking about it so much. That's why you're teaching people. I might have completely strayed off the point I was making before he got here, but yeah. And real confidence is not having to talk about it because you're fine with the fact that it's not either the fact that you're not perfect in your reasoning or because you've already mastered the reasoning. And so you're just walking down that path because you don't need to prove yourself anything or prove others anything. I think that's kind of what I meant to say. And so if we're talking about, yeah, when I say, because when we say walk the walk or talk the talk, it can depend on whatever subject in your life. It could be about, I don't know, knowing how to make a cake. Or I used the example being confident, loving yourself. If you preach, I don't know, if you preach being confident, saying, I'm a confident person, are you sure you're okay, sure? Like, are you actually like? Do you have to say that you're confident in order to feel confident? You can feel confident. You can't like. It can make you
Comme
feel
ego.
confident. You can make you can feel confident saying that you feel confident, but it doesn't mean that you are confident. It just makes you feel a glimpse of that. And so that glimpse, since you obsess over it because you feel a little bit of it, you want to talk about it all the time because you're like, oh my god, I'm almost there. So it's like I feel like it's a normal part of progressing. But if you make it your whole life and then you never choose to actually progress and like stop talking about it and move on, well, you'll never be able to walk the walk.
Preach.
There we go. So yeah, I kind of told them about why we talked about walk talk, whatever, and I used the example of you wanting to show people that you understood something that they didn't. Does it flash?
En fait, ça se calibre à la couleur. Genre, si je mets un.
Oh,
Je sais pas, I don't really understand it. Sometimes but it's alright.
Mhm.
People don't listen.
Okay. Because it's
Okay.
in the corner of my eye. Sometimes it goes. Anyways. Yeah. So first I talked about my guilt about the babysitting. We talked about what we were saying about walk, talk, whatever. And so the reason why we talked about it was because, bref, I told you that talking about your relationships, you felt like people admired you for what you discovered. And I told you,
But not who I really am,
yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah, for not who you really are, but for what you've discovered. And I told you that I don't think that's true, and that's what you feel because it's the main part of your life and you're so, I guess I would say obsessed with it. Yeah,
Rightfully so.
exactly. And obsession's not always positive. Well, it's not positive actually.
Yeah, like it's not.
Obsession's not positive, in my opinion.
I don't know if it's an obsession, but I just see the immense power, not power as we see it, but think about the feeling power, the feeling of accessing a new reality, a reality that's more true, and a reality where I can give more love, more attention to the people I love, a reality where I'm no longer in fear. It's
Yeah.
like paradise,
And
and it's attainable.
yeah, it's attainable.
So it's attainable at every instant.
I feel it's the fact that you feel that it's attainable so much that you're like so excited about it.
Yeah,
And so you're like, guys, it's attainable, like let's do this. Let's all do this so that we can all learn to like live together better, I guess.
yeah.
And so since you're like kind of you're in the moment of excitement of like, oh my god, I discovered this crazy thing that's like changing my life right now.
But I think I've long are the days
Yeah.
where I've say that I've discovered it. Now it's a question of can I talk about it for a long time? I'm not like hyped and oh my god it now it's
No, now it's yeah, no. No, I'm not saying that you're hyped when you talk about it. I'm saying that
I'm
you're
still hyped I'm still
yeah, I know, but your videos aren't like, guys, guess what? It's not really like when I see them, it's more like, I thought of this today. No, because you're like exercising,
hyped.
you're like trying to exercise right
Authenticity.
now. Yeah. And what I'm saying is that since now you feel more confident in what you've learned, but you're still not like
No,
you're never gonna
never.
attain it. Never. Like you're gonna attain a certain limit. You're never gonna attain the peak enlightenment because that
Well,
doesn't
if I
exist.
use my mind, yeah. Well, never.
Because that doesn't exist. Because like I feel like this all just stems like all of this searching and all of this like trying to figure out how to live your life just comes from like an inherent need to understand.
And a need to change.
Yeah, but I mean the reason why I feel like people like look into spirituality or like look into self-help or look into philosophy or literature is to find the meaning of life and like why are we here, what are we doing, and like what is that truth you're talking about. Tu vois ce que je veux dire? And I feel like sometimes it can distract you from living it
Okay.
because you're so focused on understanding how to live it that you don't live it. That's when I was talking about my relationship. It's sometimes when you're in a relationship with someone, whether it's love or friendship, if you talk about that relationship too much and how it works, it can ruin it because if you analyze everything, it can't ever be perfect. Like, it won't be perfect. And it's like with friendships, you don't always question, like, how do you feel like I listen to you enough? Because you're just inherently there for each other because you want to. If it's like a romantic relationship, for example, you're always gonna be like, am I giving enough attention? Like, am I present enough for that person? Because it's like definitely like a deeper relationship than just friend. Because there's like friendship and then there's like love. For me, a romantic relationship. For me, like I'm talking about my how I see romantic relationships.
Mon ego en Pas, non, je vais pas être comme elle. I
What?
just have a different
No, yeah.
way
Because
of giving love.
what was I saying? Yeah.
ultimately you give love at the end
Yeah,
of the day. Yeah.
yeah. So, what I'm saying is that when you think too much, like, oh my god, I'm in a relationship with this person, I need to make it perfect, I need to do something so that they're satisfied and so that I'm happy and so that it works and it lasts a long time so we can get married and have children. Like, if you think of it too much, if you think of it too much and you don't live your relationship, you'll end exactly, you'll end up losing yourself in it, and so you won't ever experience it, and then you might not even like, even if it's like a long relationship that lasts 3 years because you talk so much about communication or that, you won't have lived anything. You'll just have stressed your mind out. And I think it's the same thing with some people who are into spirituality or like figuring, I don't know, just those type of practices. Um, in trying to make your life a bit more peaceful. If you put your life's purpose on figuring out how to live your life, you're not living your life. And so that's what I was saying. Sometimes I feel like you think too much about it. And your moments where you try and root yourself, it always comes from a part of like, oh, I need to remember to root myself because that's how it works. Sure.
Humano.
Okay.
Now it's like survival.
Survival.
But,
Like you need to root yourself. Yeah, no, yeah. That I understand. But I feel like you do that like
it's what we said, not knowing why you do something.
yeah.
Yeah, at first, I think for a habit, any
Mhm.
kind of habit, at first,
Mhm.
you have to train yourself to meditate, even though you don't want
Yeah.
to at first.
Yeah.
But now I've come to a
For
point where I
any good
know
habit.
I never expect what I'm gonna feel after that meditation,
Mhm.
but I know stillness and room
Mhm.
comes.
Yeah. Okay. And do you feel like sometimes you drain yourself trying to figure shit out when you're not meditating?
Yeah, but it's often not it's not the fault of meditation or anything that I read. It's actually just the mind, because I think meditation inherently is something that works without the mind. The mind paradoxically thinks that it has to engage in the activity. It has to have a relationship between mind and whatever you want to call it, presence, awareness, consciousness. But no, I think I go mad and I really um scrutinize myself and overanalyze myself when I identify to all my thoughts. And the inherently what meditation or any activity that gives you stillness, it doesn't has there's no judgment comes with it. It's only the mind that gives
Yeah.
judgment.
Okay.
It just gives you the place to see clearly. And in seeing that clearly, then you see more feelings.
Would you say that meditation's the only thing that can give you stillness?
When you do
Okay.
Tai Chi, when you paint, when you smoke, when you write, when you
Yeah.
work, when you play
Because
Lego.
I know that I have that type of experience when I write.
Mm.
When it's like too much in my brain, I'm like,
Camille, when we were cognitive the child, when I was playing Lego, I could do 5 hours of intense meditation and I didn't
yeah.
even know it. I was just the question is meditation the only way to being? No.
Mm, no.
I just find it very calming
Yeah.
and very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel like, because I feel like meditation in the actual sense where you close your eyes and you meditate and you clear your mind or whatever. I feel like it's a
Your definition.
practice.
Yeah, it's a practice.
Yeah, it's a practice, right?
And it's your definition of meditation. I had a long
No,
discussion
yeah.
with
No, I agree. That's not what the only thing meditation is. I agree
well,
with that. Like, I talked about it with my mum. She was like, I feel like ironing for her.
yeah.
It's like just like a hot, there's like heat. She needs to concentrate on what she's doing. She's like present. It's like when you posted that reel on your story, which was like the only time you're in flow state is when you're shaving your balls. That
That was fun.
video,
That
and it
Tristan
made me
sent me that. So
and it
video.
made me think of that. Um, Because my mom talked to me in
If you
the
do
same.
one mistake, you fuck your balls up. I'm like, nah. It's false, but it's good.
But it's like technically the thing where you're like concentrated on
Ouais.
one thing and then you clear like the only thing you're thinking about is what you're
The
doing.
action. Yeah.
Yeah. And for me that's like a form of meditation.
Yeah, totally.
So is shaving your balls
Meditation.
meditation?
Méditation. J'en ai parlé pendant genre an hour with GP,
Who's GP?
George Poulos. Spoke about it for 1 hour, and ultimately, the more you're trying to define meditation, the more the mind is in that practice, the more the mind's talking.
Hmm.
Because factually, it is a practice, factually, it is a practice where you can close your eyes, open your eyes, do something with your hands, and every time you get distracted to the activity, the point of the center, that center could be an iron, a breath, nail clipping, doing your makeup, drinking water, masturbating, running, uh, jumping. Every time you forget that you're ironing, you're breathing, you na na na, you na na na, you na na na. So basically, when you deviate,
Hmm.
you say, hey, all it is, literally all it is.
You didn't finish your sentence.
Well, you just come back, come back, come back to the
Oh
breathing,
yeah.
come back to the ironing, come back to the jumping, come back to the running, back to the painting,
Yeah.
come back to the sensations. Et après, voilà, see, I deviated now. You can add up to that definition and say sensations help and things like that. But basically, it's you have basically our brains are like three-pointedness concentrations, you know. I'm thinking about future, past, this microphone, Camille, how she's feeling, na 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 na. Basically, what you're trying to do in meditation, what you're trying to do, what you the practice entails that you come to a place where there's one-pointedness,
Hmm.
and that could be ironing,
Hmm.
the breath,
Hmm.
your stomach, your hands doing that. There's so many practices, so many.
Yeah. And that's like grounding exercises.
But ultimately, the spiritual teachers often say that it's very important to do one practice for a while and then try. Doing a lot of practice at different practices at the same time can deviate from that one-pointedness. I've often tried to change in the meditation, do a different kind of meditation. Ah, c'est ça qui est. Oui, non, méditation en tant que telle, ça veut dire ça. It's true. Then there's so many different meditations you could do with just your body. Ah, tu vois, basically,
If you could re-encapsulate everything you said in like 2 sentences.
don't use your mind to try and understand meditation. It's all about experiencing. The more words you put in it, the less you'll live your life, the less you'll experience it.
Yeah.
The more you'll walk the walk, how you walk the walk. There is no secret. There isn't one truth to walk the walk. Ultimately, every walk goes to the same destination, but everybody's got a different kind of walk.
And do we all have the same destination?
Ultimately, in my view of things,
What is that destination for your view of things?
awakening.
What does that mean?
Awakening is the dissolution of the ego, arriving at a state of complete presence,
Okay.
where fear is no longer an option.
Okay.
Love is, and scientifically, it can be measured by magma. So basically, some scientists,
Magma?
magma. I don't know. Je me souviens
Magma's
plus.
in a volcano.
Ouais, bah c'est ça. C'est un truc vert. C'est un truc avec une connotation green. Or something. It's a brain radiation that entails that. It's a brain radiation that's linked to a state of calmness and at peace. And everybody feels it, but in like little seconds.
Okay.
And they measured it on they took a brain of a normal ass being, and they saw that in his life, en moyenne, il va peut-être ressentir ça genre 40 fois, mais ça sera genre 0.001 second. It won't be long.
Hmm.
And then they took
That
people.
feeling of peace and okay.
Well, that could be measured in the brain.
Yeah.
And then they took somebody that meditated like a die-hard meditator, and they saw that during the time they measured his brain, only 10 seconds of that 2 hours while he was meditating was the brain activity that the thing
Ah,
active.
okay. And so
2 hours.
what's the link?
The link
The link between that and awakening and
for
it
me
being the final destiny.
that piece of calmness, that place of calmness, of stillness, of of complete feeling
And if you don't
complete.
reach that, what does that make
That's
you?
right. You in Buddhist tradition, you get another life.
Oh, okay.
En
So
gros, c'est
it's
tu fais le plus de vie jusqu'à que tu arrives au awakening. That's why you shouldn't be scared of death and all that for Buddhist people. But ultimately, I'm just talking out of my bum. Honestly, I don't
yeah.
really.
Okay.
I have. Je suis très, I don't. I'm not scared of death. But I don't know if I believe in. I
In
know that
reincarnation?
I kinda. Man, that's very hard in a. I think in a spiritual practice or when you're trying to understand things without being completely obsessed. It's very hard to not trust your past experiences.
Yeah.
Because I've had past experiences in this very room, which gives me hard proof evidence that we're living, well, I'm living far from a state of
Peace?
peace and oneness because I've had an experience.
Okay.
So it's very hard because you're like, but I experienced it. So I know I'm maybe gonna experience it another time, but it's that the um same principle in life that we think all know but we don't tell ourselves. The more you search something, the less you're gonna find it.
Yep.
The less you're trying to search something, the more it comes to you. It's like I see it as okay,
Is it the
a
law of
metaphor.
attraction?
Yeah, kinda. It's like, well, that's very personal. My dad asks me loads of questions. He speaks to me a lot, a lot, a lot, and I don't. And often I'd really like to tell him like the less questions, the less attention you give me, the more I will want to come to you.
Yeah, I understand that.
And for me, that principle of that the father that sees his son or the mother that sees his daughter's son, whatever you want to call it, grow up, and then it is not the son or the daughter or the infant that wants the approval of the mother or the father. It
It's the other
becomes
way
the
around.
mother and the father that wants the
Yeah.
approval. And in that moment, the father and the mother could understand that the less, not the less attention, but the more place you leave between the person, the more the person, I think, tends to come to you.
Hmm.
And for me, it's kind of a principle of life that I've seen, and it can, as we said, the walk, the talk. I think that applies to it very, very well.
Yeah.
Certainly in meditation, the less you try in meditation, the less you try, the less that in the absence
Yeah.
of trying, you
It's like when people say, um, you can't look for love. like you
Yeah.
meet the right person when you least expect it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
true.
Mm-hmm.
It is true because they're like, "Oh, it's bullshit. You say that because you have a boyfriend," and I'm like, maybe, but it's also
Who says that? Who says that?
I've actually had a lot of discussions with
Okay. All
people,
right. All right.
a lot of my friends, because I tell them that. I'm like, it comes because it's true. Imagine someone who's in a relationship. It's like it'll come when you least
Ouais,
accept.
oui,
It's you like you don't believe it because you want it really
because
bad.
you give. I mean,
Yeah.
it's we all
If you
know it,
leave
dude.
space for the person to come, they will come.
So, Meg,
Because
let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. All right, Camille is forget she's Camille. I'm Alfred. All right. Let's actually change. Like que ça soit l'homme qui nanana. Camille, all right, is a strong female character that doesn't need
yes,
no men.
yeah.
It's totally a, what I'm saying is
What does
a,
it? So you're saying I don't need no men?
I'm saying that
No, yeah.
personally, I find it more attractive and I'm more keen to give my attention.
On someone that's unreachable.
Ah, là, ça devient chiant. Là, tu vois, unreachable, c'est en mode genre, ouais, là, tu fais trop le fou, genre.
No, but like someone
Someone
who
that,
doesn't look for anything, who's just
so,
there.
that's just there and like accepts if something comes and
Hmm.
that's open.
Yep.
For me, that's it. When you're, I remember my sister said that once, and it really resonated with me. When you're searching for something, you're closing yourself
Yep.
to other things. And I was like,
Because you're tunnel vision.
tunnel vision. I want this in particular. If I don't have this, I won't be satisfied.
Hmm.
But you're not open to. You didn't even see it. You were so tunnel vision that there was a millions of things that could have satisfied you, but you wanted that.
Hmm. 100%.
See, I'm talking it with a lot of passion because I'm talking the walk.
Yeah.
And I'm one pointedness.
Yeah. I think we all have that. It's impossible to be completely like,
I need to take a shit.
okay.
Tu vas devoir reprendre.
Again,
Yeah. Je savais que
guys,
là où tu vas
it's
voir.
your favorite part of the video. Joking.
Je peux couper, hein, si jamais.
Non, mais je m'en fous.
Ou tu fais-
You'll judge. Or I'll tell you, the editor.
Yeah.
Okay. So, hi. I forgot what we were talking. How are you guys doing? No, yeah, what were we talking about? We were talking about, yeah, wanting something. Yeah. And it also something that I want to say that I've relationship advice, guys. If you're how to say, you can still be okay. How can I say this? If you could cut this thinking portion, Alfie, or just cut me saying this if you feel like the thinking portion brings depth to the video. But yeah. Yeah, it is normal to like want. It's normal. It's like human to want things you don't have. Because the grass is greener on the other side automatically, which isn't true. You need to water your grass. Because if you keep looking at green grass, your grass is gonna become decrepit and dry. So water your grass. That was very Pinterest quote of me, but it is true. If you're always like, hey, but to be happy, I need to have a family, and I need to be this type of person, and I need to work out every week, and I need to do my skincare, and I need to work this many hours. No, 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 no. Says who, first of all. It is always good to also be conscious of the fact that there are some things that you have to do, and there are parts of your life that are going to be annoying. You can't always be peaceful, because otherwise it's not fun. I'm joking, but it's like if you have school, obviously you need to do your homework because you signed up for it. I don't know where I'm going with this, but if you're always like, okay, yeah, let's take school as an example. If you're like, oh, I'm so unsatisfied with school, I'm always procrastinating, I'm not happy. If you keep thinking that you're unhappy where you are with your procrastination, you're not leaving space for you to get out of that cycle. So, obviously, procrastination is a very touchy subject because in the world where productivity is the most important thing because it's capitalism, Everybody wants you to be productive. Everybody wants to do something out of your time. Um, it is very hard to not want to be productive because your self-worth goes down if you can't be useful for something. But the thing is that if you're always like, I'm not useful, I'm not useful, I'm not being productive right now, it's just gonna reinforce your procrastination, which is just the same thing that we've been saying. Because
Basically, the more you try,
yeah,
the more you'll fail.
exactly. The more you try, the more you fail. And then some people are just like, oh yeah, procrastination is
Sanity.
such a because procrastination is like a big subject in Gen Z media. It's true. Everybody's like, yeah, when you're procrastinating and you can't get up, if you're all spreading around this truth that everybody's procrastinating and it's normal, nobody's gonna get up and like actually do stuff. And I'm not saying like it's easy to rise and grind. I'm not saying that it is because yeah, rise and enjoy life somewhere over there.
Behind Camille.
It's this idea of course you can have down days where you just don't have the energy to do anything. If you accept that, if like accepting the days where you can't do shit instead of trying to get up, it'll just refill your energy so that you like yeah, okay. If you accept that you don't have any energy and you're not doing anything, your brain qualifies it as rest, so you have more energy to actually do the thing that you want to do at another moment. If you're being guilty of the fact that you're not producing anything or doing nothing, this is just procrastination and you don't feel good about yourself and you'll never get moving because you just feel drained and you hate yourself. See what I mean? You can change the way you look at things to be able to be more productive, whether it's for work, whether it's for I don't know, you want to clean your room or clean your mind. You're like, yeah, I should change this, I should change that. You should. Why don't you do it? Nothing's stopping you except yourself. That is all I want to say. Thank you very much.
How do you say châtiment in English?
Uh, chastising? No, let me look that up. Châtiment, punishment, retribution,
Product is it productive?
productivity.
Ouais, mais le ism, c'est ça.
There's no ism.
Ah oui, bah, productivity and self-improvement can often fall, no, is the modern day version of the Christian punishments, where
Elaborate.
if you did a sin,
Yeah.
you would whip your body. And I think we fall into that path of self-retribution quite a lot, and I'm the first to do it a lot.
Because you feel guilty because you're not following the right path.
Feel guilty, yeah, and because this time and you're wasting your time,
Yeah.
because death can come at any moment.
The thing is, if you're like trapped, like stuck in the idea that you're always wasting your time,
Oh yeah.
number one, you're not living your life, and number two, you're not gonna actually do the things that you want to do with your life.
But là, depuis tout à l'heure, là, I could hear myself saying the same thing as you, as not living your life, but I think in our modern day we can't say that. We can't say just live your life because literally the definition of living your life is has been given by
Yeah.
society as being productive,
hmm
being na. So living your life is so broad,
hmm
so broad. So what I was thinking while I was on the throne,
Toilet.
um, and this correlates with what I was just saying. Meditation is not something to talk about through to add to your personality. It's not something that adds to your experience. It makes you realize that realize like deeply realize like I know that Camille is here physically.
hmm
Realize that you're living a unique experience.
hmm
Realizes that you have thoughts, feelings. it's not something that has a quality of judgment. It can never have a quality of judgment. It's glasses
Mhm.
to make you see better.
And feel better.
That's why an obsession of it, I was thinking in the toilet, I can't see myself being obsessed with that, these glasses. I'm more obsessed with when my mind wants those glasses, but
Mhm.
the glasses itself, they're not calling me to come and get me. They don't, they, they're nobody. There's no judgment to those glasses.
Mhm.
There's no entity behind it.
Mhm.
One could say there's the universe, God, or any type of God.
Clarity.
Clarity, at the end of the day, it's fuck words, man.
Mm.
Fuck words.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. They're
That's
just
why when we
feelings.
talk, like, we really don't have the same way of qualifying things, but I understand what he says through his terms, even though I would definitely not call it with the same label, but it's the
Yeah, but it's
same
the same
thing.
feeling.
It's exactly the same
It's,
thing.
it's, I think I defined it once and I thought it was pretty good definition.
Hmm.
It was a drawing I did where imagine, all right, perfect. Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right, Camille, she's living, all right, we're the same person, all right?
Okay.
Camille, she's deeply living in presence.
Hmm.
This is consciousness.
Yeah.
I'm living outside of it. I'm constantly thinking about myself, myself, myself. I'm never actually in. I'm never actually in the ism of
Hmm.
everything.
Hmm.
Once I actually realize, I can come this close
Mm-mm.
and look and see, like, oh,
That's what it is.
what the fuck? And then the next step,
That's talk the walk. When you're halfway in, it's talk the walk,
and then you're in it.
and then you're in it.
And for me, and it's not even the metaphor. For me, it's the sensation of imagine you're at a party, everybody's waiting for you. Everybody's waiting for you.
Hmm.
You're in front of the door, you hear the noise, you anticipate the noise,
Yeah.
you think,
You have
you have
expectations.
expectations, you enter the room halfway,
Hmm.
everybody's looking at you. And you're like, oh my God, everybody can see me. Oh my God, I'm so
Mm.
vulnerable. Oh my God, what the fuck? But at the same time, I'm kind of secured because there's the door. And then beautiful, beautiful feeling
Hmm.
comes when you step in. And then you
You're
just
overwhelmed.
be,
You. You be you.
you be.
You be. I
So
was
for
gonna
me, that's
say something.
the broad definition of what
Hmm. I
clarity is.
also want to say something. The people that I know in my life that are the most present and grounded have never talked to me about being present and grounded.
Yeah, but are they?
Yeah,
But do they know?
no, because they're grounded. Because they
Ah,
don't make a
bah
difference,
tu vois.
because that's where they are. And they're like, yeah.
Well, bah là, I would beg the question. C'est- You should ask them, are they aware of their presence? For me, then
Would
they're in presence. Mais je vois ce que tu veux dire.
Well,
Genre,
no, because if they're aware of their presence, it just alludes to the fact that there's something else, which is dissociation. And if they've never learned like what dissociation is, then there's just presence. And that is the most present people ever. It's someone qui s'est jamais like has not asked once in their life the question, "Am I here or not?" It's because
yeah, but
they are here. What else is there?
oh yeah, yeah, truly, yeah, they've been determined to
Yeah,
be here. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. All right, I get
And so the people who talk the most about figuring shit out are the most like the people who are the most anxious. I feel like because they're they see everything and every possibility, and then they're like, "Oh, where do I go? Where do I go now? I have no idea where I am. Okay, I know I should be over there, but I'm not right now. Let's figure out how to get there." And that's also like emotionally intelligent people can also see it, but it's because they've
it.
like see what I mean? Because I feel
Damn.
like I know a lot of
Um,
people because
bah
kids that are present.
oui, ils sont deeply present, but do they know that they're present? That's
No.
because when I'm stepping in, when I'm stepping into that room,
Hmm.
I know that I'm stepping in.
Yeah,
There's a
cause you,
quality of
cause
awareness
yeah, cause you weren't present before stepping in.
that if they don't know that they're stepping in, for me, they're not present. They're in an unconscious state of
No, but
mind, just determined to just be that person. And the being, of course, the being.
no, but what if they were born in that room and stayed in it, and never left the room?
Oh,
Well,
mec, mais attends, là, t'es en train de dire que la personne, elle est genre awakened dès qu'elle est.
yeah, but the thing is that awakened, like a person that's awakened is someone that's present at all times and those like grounded, knows what is going on around them. Because you're talking about like
It's
spiritual
actually
practice
like
awakening.
realizing that you seeing Alfred.
What?
When I'm entering that room,
Yeah.
I'm being in the sense where I've left Alfred behind.
Yeah, your core self.
Yeah, I'm in my core self.
Yeah.
One could not feel that core self if he's deeply rooted in personality. Because if I ask that person a question and said, "How old are you?" Will they answer me, "Well, man, I'm here." Or will they say, "I'm 17 years old"?
But there's also a truth that you are 17 years old.
Physically, but right now, I'm
Yeah,
not.
physically. Isn't
Oui,
physicality and being present the most
ouais,
important
mais
thing?
oui, mais là, je te parle in the realm of the now. If the guy's deeply rooted in the presence, the guy, the girl, the whatever, he's deeply in the now. And dude, I know you've already experienced the present of the now. In the now, there is no concept, no age, no nothing. If you ask the
Yeah.
person, what age is he? I don't know about you, but if you're gonna ask me in the now, I'm like when I'm deeply present, when somebody asks me if I'm present,
Hmm.
I'm like, "Mm." I don't answer. I don't answer because
Okay. Because it's not something you're thinking about. The thing is, if.
ça va. J'avais posé cette question à un gars qui est dans mon cours de yoga. Je lui ai dit,
Mhm.
"Do you know that you're present?" He said, "Well, talking about it. If I talk about it, I'm not."
Yeah, he's right.
But
Nothing to do with your age.
non,
And that's we're discussing because I'm trying to
mais en
figure out
fait,
how you're
regarde,
thinking
regarde.
because I don't know what you're saying.
It's okay. It's a question of suffering. For me, it's a question of suffering.
Okay.
Does the person that so always been in the present since
Hmm.
he was born knows that he is the source of suffering?
Yeah.
And you tell me that person could always be rooted in the present moment.
The thing is, I feel like we have a different definition of present moment, of the now. What do you call that?
Now is the absence of complete self. Now is the clarity of space, physicality,
Okay.
of that feeling of awe, that feeling of nothing has concept, nothing has judgment. You're in complete awe all of the
Okay.
time. It's something that cannot be described.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Oh yeah, you told me about that in a book. One of them said, "Yeah, I can't describe what now is because it defeats the point
Yeah,
of
well,
now."
kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. It's like you can't describe God because God can't be described.
Exactly.
Okay. So I think we have a different definition of what presence is.
Maybe
I don't have a definition. Shut up.
presence is where these habits, Camille, your needs,
Hmm.
the physical threats, the fears, everything isn't, it doesn't work in that realm, genre.
Okay.
It's a,
Okay.
it, c'est pour ça que je te dis, la méditation doesn't add to the experience. You see it there, you see space. You see that we're literally always in the, oh my god, me, Me,
Oh.
me, me, ou pour moi, mais si c'est moi en fait.
Mhm.
Wow, wow. C'est
Mhm.
juste, c'est that feeling of, for me, it's the, for like right here, right now. Je peux pas mieux le définir que when you're deeply not in the present moment, you're not in the now, you're not
Mhm.
in the letting go, basically, not in love,
Mhm.
you're smudged.
Mhm.
This whole experience is smudged onto my face. I don't see things as individual
Mhm.
things. Everything is smudged. I predict, I create, I am the creator. I am the creator.
Okay.
In the presence of now, you distance yourself from that and you're able to see that you could create. You, you're able to see more than the film you're creating your whole life.
Okay, so the bigger picture.
The fucking bigger picture where there is no rhythm, there is no,
Okay. Okay, I think I see what you're talking
there
about.
is a, the who, Alan Watts, I don't know if you know him,
No.
c'est un gros boug spirituel, il a dit, the best way to define, the only way to define now is that noise, that noise,
Okay.
that,
Mhm.
that, that,
Mhm.
that, genre,
Okay, okay. Everythingness. Everything everywhere all at once.
ah bah c'est un super film,
It's a great film.
ouais.
But okay.
So telling
And
me that somebody that, for me, and I lift my hand,
mhm.
I could be in so unconscious states where I'm just, imagine my attention, my consciousness is just, oh, we're gonna do that. Okay, okay, all right, we're gonna do that. Okay, and he's just, and then in that state of stillness of now, you can see something goes,
Mhm.
then he looks behind, the monkey looks behind, and there's, but why? No, come on, follow me,
Mhm.
consciousness, and like, I'm
Chill.
watching.
Mhm.
Do you think I'm
Mhm.
watching? And the monkey doesn't play anymore because he doesn't have any attention.
Okay. I see what you
So
mean.
telling me that somebody, that most of the
Okay, because
people
we have
in
a different.
presence, we the being, the deterministically being, if they don't know that the being, yeah, ils sont
Mhm.
déterminés à pas savoir.
Mhm.
Mais
Because I think we're talking about different things. Because for me, my goal in life, I'm not really looking at it, but it's to be able to um experience things and feel things fully
yeah,
without doubt and without fear, as you say.
yeah,
Like, I don't want to
yeah,
be afraid. I want to appreciate myself and I don't want to think twice when I want to do something.
yeah, ouais.
So that's what I'd like to
Intuition,
reach. Yeah, whatever. I'd like to reach that and I'd like to have discernment on what's good for me and who's good for me. And yeah,
yeah.
maybe a bit individualistic, but I'd rather be alone than badly accompanied because if I'm confident in myself, and happy with myself. I'd rather have two friends and like two people in my family and feel good where I am. Anyways, you understand what I'm saying.
So that for you is
So
now.
for me, that is being present and active in your life.
Ah
Because,
ouais, non.
yeah, that's for me, it's not.
Present is a state, not a mind, not a.
Okay, okay. For you is probably a state because you have because you practice like spirituality, you have that type of mindset. I don't have that mindset. Because my thing is that I'm very like I I'm very in the I'm very factual with things. Like I'm very like concret. And the only thing that I know, no, no.
It isn't
What?
dreamland.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's dreamlands. I'm just thinking that you're talking about realms and states and like
Yeah, but
stuff like that. And I know that it manifests in real life and it's like what you create for yourself. But what I'm saying is that in my brain, if I qualify those feelings with those words, it makes me go insane. Do you see what I mean? Because what you're describing to me, I understand what you're saying, because it, like, with the terms that you use, it works logically to describe a feeling, but I don't want to over word it or complicate it, because otherwise I get lost in it and then I never find myself.
I'm overwording it and complicating it for the sake of the podcast.
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's why I'm saying that I would not even like what like use those words even to explain myself for the podcast. If I had a podcast, I wouldn't use those words because at the end of the day, if you want for me, if I wanted to change something, I need to know how it feels like and I know how to describe it simply in the reality that we live in right now, right? Because if you want to get out of the reality that you live right now, you need to use those terms. And so for me, if I want to be grounded, I would do stuff that you would call breathing exercises, regulating your emotions, and I would call it like that because it sounds more attainable and it sounds more straightforward and not like the secret of life is something completely mystical because it has a special name. And and I just don't like using those words because it completely
Yeah,
tells me like what the hell am I doing? And so I might be like very might be homme de Cro-Magnon, but it's what it works and I feel like that's what's most authentic for me to be like, okay, yeah, I don't say I meditate, I write to get my brain out on the paper and then I feel better because I decluttered my brain and now I am way more present and relaxed and I can see what's going on around me and I can have discernment and I can be more at peace.
ultimately,
And
it's
I
the same
feel like
feelings.
what?
Same
And
feelings.
it's the same feelings. So when I say someone that is grounded won't talk about it, it's because they won't have those terms because they wouldn't have researched it. See what I mean? They won't have like read those books on self-help that talk about
But do they know?
what do you mean do they know?
Do they know that they're in that state?
Well, they'll probably be aware of it because they can see that so many other people are like all over the place in society. See if they see anxious people, they'd be like, I'm not like that, period.
Okay.
But they won't be like, yes, I am aware that I am present. They wouldn't say it like that. They will be like, I do not. Like those people are like the people who have I don't know, always overthinking, very insecure, all of those people, they'd be like, poor them, they are suffering. And they mastered like how they redirect their suffering and all that. And they don't need to explain it because it's how they live it. See what I mean? And so I would argue that people who seek the reason for everything, for every experience they have, is probably people who are struggling the most with where they root their reality. And I think that's why I talk so much about how are you supposed to be less anxious? How do you root yourself? How do you do yourself justice? All of that. It's because I have no idea. And so back to the beginning. Talk the walk the talk. If you walk the walk, you don't talk about it. And if you talk the walk, it's because you're not sure on how to navigate it. And once you walk the walk, you won't need to talk about it anymore because it'll just be intuitive. And so that's why I talked about it about with you, because you talk about it a lot. Bow. Anyways, I still have my tea.
So talking about it shouldn't be an intention that will value all your ego
Can they hear you? Yeah, they
or so that people value you.
the intention to talk about it should be to figure it out for yourself.
Just
Because
to say, look, I'm figuring it out. You do whatever you want with this. I think it can't.
if you want people to look at you, that's another problem. It's not a problem necessarily, just you need to be aware that you want people to look at you. And if you want to figure out why, that is your point. You don't have to figure everything out. If you want to talk about it with people, it's just like a part of your journey, I guess. If you feel like talking about it to others can help you like understand yourself, go for it because you're not harming anyone. But I feel like it just shows where you're at in your life. If you feel like you need to talk about it to show people where you're at, you probably want to be seen.
I do want to be seen.
And so the people who are like, who tell people, look, I don't want to be seen, that's really contradictory. See, like, you shouldn't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen. Proceeds to have 2 million followers and calls themselves spiritual teacher. See what I mean?
But at the same time,
And I'm not saying,
I won't feel
yeah.
that peace without all this knowledge. Without
So
the
keep,
knowledge I
you
see on.
can learn without talking about it. Or you can talk about it if it's only for you, you can document it for yourself. Why would you have to post it? You see what I mean? And I'm not saying stop
Yeah,
posting. I'm just saying if it's truly just for you, why are you showing other people this?
because I think it's the only way I'm able to do it. I
And
ask
do you think
myself,
it's because you want to be validated in your journey in the sense that people are telling you, like, oh, good point. So you're like, okay, I'm on the right track, let's keep going. Because you want feedback?
no, because like for me, it's the only like j'ai du mal maintenant à parler à haute voix and talk about it on my own. Like writing about it is kind of hard now. But
Mm,
like taking my telephone and doing a voice recording, that's really easy.
Then,
Doing a video, really easy.
then what stops you from doing that without posting it?
I'm like,
Might as well.
might as well just post it.
And so I would understand, like I get that you'd want to, film to like. Also, it's interesting to be like, I want to show people that, we're all going through the
Yeah.
same
That's
questions.
why I wanted to do it at
Okay.
first.
And to like make people feel safe that they might feel like they're going through crazy feelings and stuff like that,
Yeah,
but it's all part of everyone's
yeah,
journey.
yeah.
I understand
That
that.
was the
You
point.
could also prove that point in one video, saying like validating everyone, saying like all of the things that you're going to feel in your life are all valid and everything you're going to feel. But then this is a different format because you're showing the process of the ups and downs and the figuring out and the going back on your path and then going back on and then
It's
being like
also a very good documentation.
yeah, it's very good documentation. But the thing is
Why do I
that do
post it?
you actually just want to do it for documentation, or are you using that as an excuse to be seen? Do you see what I mean?
Mm,
Because it's easy to be like,
both.
oh, it's
Bit of
for
both.
everyone. It's not just for everyone, and we all know that. And it's not
It,
just for you, it's for vloggers in general,
it.
YouTubers in general.
I think there's 2 points. First of all, I think
I'm not saying it's unhealthy all the time.
I started this channel because I started this former video because I wasn't authentic at school,
Yeah.
and my first video is fresher behind press and publish.
Mm-hmm.
Pour te dire, genre the
Mm.
first video was I was scared of publishing. Now I don't really give a shit.
Yeah. So once you do it once, you
Yeah,
know that nobody dies.
that's
Yeah, and it's cool that you show that.
And
It's cool.
secondly, I think I've always had, genre, mec, je poste des vidéos sur YouTube depuis que j'ai 7 ans.
Yeah.
Et du coup, genre, c'est un peu la suite logique, un peu de egoic self,
Mm-hmm.
de like, imagine when I'm gonna be like 40, look at Brawls, starting from Brawl Stars to
This,
whatever happens.
yeah.
And it's really that I think I like to be seen. Of course, that's why we're talking about outfits.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Yeah.
to dress class because I'm like, oh, they're gonna see me and they're gonna value me. Ultimately, I know that as my wise, as well, kind of your friend, our wise friend Tristan said to me, when you're searching outwards, you don't have it inwards.
Yeah.
Basics,
Mm-hmm.
basics.
Yeah.
But when I'm searching for validation, I don't have
That's
it.
exactly what we were talking about. That if you, because that's what I'm saying. If you, yeah, because if you're reaching out, because like right now we're posting, like you're gonna post this on a social media, you're reaching outwards.
Oh, we could not.
What do you mean?
We could not post this.
That's your video. You do what you want with it. I'm talking with you. If you want to watch it back and that's all you want, if you want to keep this
Take
to
I
yourself,
never watch my videos.
you don't watch your videos.
Never. E- Except the last two videos that were really funny.
No, but like you, before posting it, you watch it back.
No, I just post
Okay,
it.
that explains a lot.
I just post it. I don't do
Because
anything.
sometimes I watch your videos and some things I don't understand because you don't.
I never have any script. Just talk.
No,
Nothing
yeah, yeah,
prepared.
yeah. I know that you don't prepare anything, but you don't edit either.
No.
And I noticed that because when I watch your, whether it's your reels, your videos on your story, or
I,
on your YouTube,
I
I get lost a lot.
hate. Yeah, I get that.
And that's why I feel like you're doing it also for your need of expression.
Voilà, mec, mais on dirait un psychologue là en fait. I also do it because the more I talk about it, the more clearer it gets.
Yeah, that's
It's
why I write.
that's why I make videos.
I go.
But ultimately, why should I post it? Because
It's out there.
it's out there.
Okay, yeah.
It 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 forces me to be vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
but let's be real vulnerable right now. It also gives into my ego.
Yeah.
It's 50-50.
Okay. I think that's a very good explanation. Je vais faire mon deuxième B-reel. Non, mais B-reel, c'est tellement pas real parce que ça veut dire que. Ouais, ça, ok. Yippee! C'est trop. Luna, elle va go crazy parce qu'elle m'a dit I want you to go. Parce que je lui ai dit que je venais peut-être sur ton podcast, whatever. Because you told me about this already. And I told her, like, oh yeah, Alfie might tell me to speak with him. And she's like, this is the only one I will actually watch. Du coup, je vais en fait faire blow up your channel, guys.
Non, non, non.
No, but I don't think she'll watch it all the way
Ouais,
through.
voilà,
C'est
1h28 minutes.
1h30
Il y a que
Eastern.
Arthur qui regarde.
Hey, Alpha.
Je sais pas. I never know if Arthur. I think last podcast I
Tristan
said
doesn't watch it.
he does, but
He doesn't,
I
doesn't
don't.
watch an hour and 30 minutes.
No, once I think in the podcast I said if Arthur's still watching, tell me this in
In the comments, and then
and he
he did.
didn't.
Oh,
So I knew that he. So if anybody that's still watching this, comment.
I don't know. Comment now. Use code now.
Use code now.
No, comment,
Right now. Huh?
no.
Ok.
Comment
Moi j'en ai un.
Beavis and Butthead.
Parfait. Moi j'allais dire Beavis has a big lobster.
Alright, one of the two. If you're Team Camille, say Beavis and Butthead. If you're Alfie, Team Alfie, you say Beavis has a big lobster. Competition.
All right, well, it was a pleasure speaking. Normally, every time I'm like, it's a pleasure speaking. Love you. Oh, dude, love you. Et je suis tellement plus genre non filtré, je m'en bats vraiment plus les couilles de cette chaîne, c'est une dinguerie. Du coup, I'll be au fait.
Did we finish our subject?
Ouais, je crois.
Okay, but either way, I have nothing to add extra.
So basically, go and walk the walk.
Yes, walk the walk. And if you need to
Mais
talk
attends, on
the
n'est pas en
walk
train de
before
preaching the...
walking,
On n'est pas en train de preaching the truth, là?
what do you mean?
On n'est pas en train de give our truth?
Well, walking the walk is their own walk.
All right, so
We're not
go...
telling you how to walk.
Yeah.
You can walk with one leg. You can hop. You don't have to walk. You can run. You can jog. You can skip. You can
Climb.
pas de bourrée. You can climb. Just don't do it half-assed. Do it fully. There we go.
So basically, I'll tell my definition of walk is after this ending of podcast, edit it, post it, and not play FIFA. Basically.
Yeah,
And
my
then,
walk.
yeah, sorry.
No, I interrupted you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Then, practice love.
My walk after this will be my walk after this will just be not thinking about what I'm doing after. It'll just be, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna watch a film tonight. That's the only
Putain,
thing
mais
I
mec,
know
mais
I'm
attends,
gonna
mais ça
do.
résume mais genre parfaitement là. Oh my god. I anticipate what I'm gonna do to obtain awareness.
But also, sometimes you do have a life where you plan things, and that's
Yeah,
okay.
mais là,
You
là
just
t'es
need to
planning
different. No,
to
but
be aware.
you need to make a difference between planning something that you have to do that you're gonna do and planning a feeling that you're gonna have when you're doing it. Because if you
It's
have to,
planning a feeling.
yeah, if you plan the because I know I'm just gonna watch a film. What it is, the feeling of that moment will guide me to what film I'll watch. That is okay. I'm not gonna be like, what film do I watch in 2 hours? Because then I'll never find the actual film I want to watch. So what we're gonna do is know that you're gonna watch a film around in like I don't have a watch in around an hour. Probably watch a film, but
T'as besoin de connaître l'heure pour dire que in an hour.
yeah,
Alright. Ah bah oui, logique.
yeah. So it's okay to have a busy schedule. It's okay to planify things because it's always better for your brain. Because not everybody can go with the flow all the time. Some people have school. Some people have work to do because you need to remember you have responsibilities. Non, mais je parle pas que toi. But like, see, you know that you're gonna pet sit.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, you still planned it. Doesn't mean you're not rooted in your presence. It's just the fact that you're like, oh no, I need to pet sit tomorrow when you've already planned it. That's when you're not walking the walk. Do you see
Attends,
what I mean?
redis.
I completely muddled up two subjects. If you plan to work the next day, you're like someone trusts you to do that job because you're going to be paid for it and it's needed for whatever reason. Work like you're responsible for that. But if you're anxious about it, that's the thing that you can control. If you're like, "Oh no, I need to get up tomorrow. I know it's going to piss me off." No, just like do it because you've had an exchange with your boss or whatever, you've planned to do it. So you're going to do it. But if you're like apprehending it in a non-positive way, what is the like it's going to happen anyway. Do you see what I mean?
Ah, sauf si j'ai le choix. Et j'ai le choix.
T'as le choix?
Ah oui.
What's
On a
your
toujours le choix.
Yes, we always have the choice, but if you're committed to something, obviously you need to know when it's the time to stop.
Hmm.
Huh? If you feel like it's the time to stop, you can always stop if it's to for mental health or whatever. But if you know that you have a babysitting the next day that is like once a week, for example, if you're not looking forward to it, it's normal. Life isn't amazing all the time. Sometimes it's annoying. Sometimes you have to get up and do things. Make the effort to get up and do things. For yourself, because you're going to get paid afterwards. Because it's not like you're doing free labor, you're getting paid afterwards. So what I mean is, I'm losing myself in my thoughts. Even if you have planned things, don't stress because they're going to arrive anyway with the time that it. So might as well give in to time.
Surrender.
Surrender. Exactly. That is it. But scheduling things is fine. Just don't apprehend them because they're there and they've always been there.
Are you talking to yourself?
Yeah, and everyone. And you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am talking to myself because I'm thinking of, for example, if you go get your ears pierced and you're scared to get your ears pierced, you're gonna get like they're gonna pierce your ears anyway because you booked the appointment. You can always like back out, but you're there to pierce your ears. If you want to pierce your ears, you're gonna pierce your ears. You have to face it.
C'est vrai que c'est moi qui a dit que c'est moi qui a pris la décision que
Yeah,
j'allais babysitter le chien.
yeah, you took that decision, so might as well follow through. You can't just be like, I'll do it to feel good about myself and then I'll stop because I actually don't want to. See what I mean? That's just normal life.
Mm.
That's all for me. So do whatever you have to do and do it with
Intention.
intention and don't worry because you're gonna sleep at the end of the day.
Or you'll die. Until next time,